Hello Electroheads, today we are talking about one of my favourite car companies in the world, Dacia.
Dacia.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but I love them. How can you not love a car company that makes no-nonsense, affordable, reliable cars for the masses? Dacia recently unveiled the Spring Electric, a crossover SUV that brings affordability and accessibility to the electric car market. This is something we think is integral in bringing EVs to a mass audience and accelerating the whole saving the planet thing, which is actually pretty important these days.
Even Greenland's on fire.
If, like me, you're fans of Comrade Detective, Dracula and the Romanian football team of the 90s, you will know, sorry.
What are those?
Now, if like me and most people on the planet, you are fans of Comrade Detective, Dracula and the Romanian football team of the 90s, you'll know that Romania does exports pretty well. But this is a big test for Dacia. In bringing a cheap electric city car to the market, they need to know that the market is actually there. Other manufacturers have gone down the route of the hatchback when unveiling their early electric city cars. Just think of the Mini Electric, the BMW i3 or the Honda E. All small and very lovable little electric city cars. But the Dacia Spring is an SUV crossover which is much bigger. Surely that can't be right, can it? Well, hang on a minute, we'll come to that. But first, the spec. The Spring's 27 kilowatt-hour battery powers a motor that produces just 44 brake horsepower. Not 144, just 44. I think we've actually ridden scooters that are nearly as powerful as that on Electroheads. The range is a mere 140 miles and the top speed is just 78 miles an hour. This can be limited further in eco mode, which brings the speed down to 62 miles an hour, but extends the range by 10%. This might sound underwhelming, but none of these are bad things because the Spring's purpose in life is actually short city drives where the average speed might be 10 to 20 miles an hour. In fact, the average speed of a car in London these days is just 5 miles an hour. And these journeys represent the overwhelming majority of car journeys taken in the UK. Most of those are taken in ICE-powered cars, so you just sat there burning the Earth's natural resources while slowly crawling to your destination. The Dacia Spring Electric represents a rethink about the way we travel on four wheels. You simply don't need quick acceleration or a high top speed when ferrying the kids to school or going to the local supermarket. Why pay through the nose for a high-spec car when you only end up using 5% of its actual capabilities? You're literally paying for something you're not using. Why not just buy a Dacia Spring Electric for less than £20,000? Dacia's slogan is "You do the maths," which actually feels kind of targeted because I had to retake my maths GCSE. But Dacia, I did do the maths. It took me a while, but I did it. And I think this will be the cheapest electric car on the market in the UK, cheaper even than the Seat Me, its rival city car. But when you compare the Dacia Spring Electric to the Seat Me, there is an obvious difference. While Dacia have compromised on range and top speed in the Spring Electric, they have invested in cargo space. Yes, cargo space. Despite being only marginally longer and wider than a VW Up, the additional height of the SUV crossover allows for much more literage. The Spring can carry 300 litres of stuff in the boot, and that goes up to 600 litres if you fold the back seats forward. They've also managed to squeeze 23 litres of storage in the front. I don't really know where, maybe in the passenger footwell or the glove box, no idea. Now that might sound incredibly boring because it is, but it's important. Let's face it, driving in a busy city is usually a pain in the ass and it's something we'll try our best to avoid. But there are times when you just need a car to pick up a new TV stand that you bought on Gumtree, or you need to go to the supermarket and do a big shop because you ran out of toilet roll again. You can't really do those things with a bicycle or a scooter, so that's why you need a car with a cheeky bit of literage. And this is Dacia's version of the street car of the future. A cargo carrier that is used a mile at a time and doesn't care about superfluous things like power, range and speed. But it won't waste your money either. Dacia are claiming that this will be the cheapest new car on the market to own when it comes out in spring 2021. And I think they don't just mean electric cars, it looks as though they're claiming this will be the cheapest of any car to own, taking into account the price point and the cost of running. That's an incredible claim. But if it is true, then it could entice a whole new market of people from ICE to electric. And here's another interesting point. When this car comes to the market in spring 2021, it will only be through shared ownership and ride-sharing schemes. In fact, you won't be able to purchase a Spring Electric until autumn 2021. Dacia want you to be able to rent this car for an hour at a time when you need it, and then stick it on charge for a few hours until the next punter decides that they need it. In this brave new world, rather than owning one car for the city and another for cross-country road trips, we might not even own a city car at all, and Dacia are well aware of that, so they're getting ahead of the game with the ride sharing. And looking at its other vital statistics, it really looks like this is a decent little car. A 30 kilowatt fast charger will charge it to 80% in under an hour, which is okay. Or you can charge it at home to 100% in 14 hours, which is okay. It has a turning circle of 4.8 meters, which is only 20 centimeters more than the Honda E, useful for parking in congested cities. A Dacia app will allow you to monitor your charge level from your phone, as well as the real-time location of your car. The interior is perfectly acceptable. The dashboard has a 7-inch touchscreen with an inbuilt infotainment system and a parking camera. You can connect Android and Apple phones and use voice recognition through those. Personally, I think they've missed a trick there by not copying what Seat did with the Mi, where there was no screen or infotainment system, just a dock for your smartphone. Because, let's face it, no company other than Tesla has built an infotainment system for a car that's anywhere near as good as a smartphone. But what Dacia have done here is present their solution to a growing problem. If we're going to improve traffic flow, air quality, and if we're going to save the planet, we need to start matching our vehicle choice to our journey. Whilst the Spring Electric clearly isn't suited for a cross-American road trip, it's perfectly suited to the city. But do you agree? As always, let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe. Goodbye.